Family, we are back again. Come on, somebody to make a sound right there. I said we are back again. The cave is back. How many of you excited? I mean, excited about this conversation that we're about to have. And the reason why I believe I'm so excited about this conversation because I think it's a beautiful conversation. It's an excitement behind what we're about to speak about. Because what we're about to speak about, if it wasn't for what we're about to talk about, we wouldn't be here. And what's so big about this is the month of May, right? So that means we dedicate this whole month to who? The mothers.
Moms.
Come on now. Well, I know somebody was gonna go crazy out there. Come on now. So at this time, I'm excited about what God is gonna do. Y'all can be seated. I'm excited. I just want to share with some of the people so they can introduce to y'all who I have on the panel with me tonight. I'm gonna start over here first.
My name is Zachary Turnage.
Keith Robertson.
Daniel J. Williams.
Chaun.
Man, you got bass. You ready to talk about this, Center? Man. Hold a minute. Announce yourself again. You might need to hold that mic back some. Jesus. She must have been good to you. No, y'all got the wrong. Y'all got the wrong perspective. We talking about a mother's love tonight, not his wife. We talking about a mother's love tonight. So that's what we talking about. We want to make sure we rewind a mother's love. So that's what we're going to talk about on tonight. You're going to get yourself in trouble when you get home. My mic was good. Well, we're talking about a mother's love tonight. So to start this off, I want to ask one question, and anybody can answer it. What is your definition of a mother? That's it. Just a comforter. Okay. Anybody else? What's your definition of a mother?
I would say the definition of sacrifice.
Comforter. Sacrifice.
Oh man, so many. It's hard to wrap my mother into a single word or even a phrase. But I just say that you know what? She was the only world that I knew. She was the perfect world that I knew.
Wow. Mr. Zach?
For me, she was my provider, my example, even my way out in certain situations. She was my number one person.
My number one person. So I'm getting on you when you say what you said, and I got only one word too. I would say she was my everything. Because everything that y'all speak on, that's what she was. I mean, if you were in trouble, she come to get you out of trouble. And after she gets you out of trouble, so you know we from back in the days. She gonna do what? And then after she beats you, say, you know I love you. And the crazy part about it, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna go talk about it. But let's start right here. Since somebody from the audience screams, she gonna beat you, and you say whip you.
Whoop you.
You see now we from a different time than you. I don't know about Mr. Turner. Mr. Turner, you probably from my time too. I don't know. But y'all remember the time that when you did something, and then after you committed the crime that you did, because it was against the law of that house, they make you go do what? Man, I need y'all y'all don't know about that? Tell us about it.
I'll come back with the smallest one. That's the greatest mistake you can make. Is now she's going to get the biggest one, and it's on and popping.
But how you learn from that for us not to get the small switch? Like what? Tell us about it.
I get the one that I've learned out of all the whippings I got to know which one I can really tolerate.
Come on. and and you remember that when they used to beat you, and then that switch pop and it break. They like, ooh, you don't want me to go pick it. You better go get another one. What'd you say?
Nah, she go get her own after that.
And then they braid. You ever had the one where they braided together?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Make my legs shake now. Thinking about that.
Chaun, what you know about that? Y'all might call that child abuse now. But you got to understand, as far as we're going to get to the questions, what they did then gave us a foundation for where we at now. Because you got to understand, one thing my mom always told me, she say, y'all, excuse what I'm about to say. My mama always told me, she said, I ain't raising no punk. She said, always told me that. And I'm confused. I'm little, like, what do you mean? Because then I got a little older, she told me, she said, because you didn't have your father in your life, I had to be hard on you. I gave you a mother's love, but I still had to be hard on you like a man would have been hard on you. And that's why at first I was like, man, my mom don't love me. I think because she used to beat me. I'm like, why are you beating me? There's another resolution to this. Like, let's find another way, you know? I was bad, though. I ain't gonna say. I got into a little bit of everything. And Lord, I was like, Lord, she found out here go to beating. Y'all ever went through that?
Yeah, all the
later.
time.
She wait. Like, okay, get in trouble. Okay, yeah. Oh, she done forgot. Yeah.
Oh, they don't forget.
Oh yeah, get out that tub.
Oh,
bro.
to that night.
Get out that tub, climb in that bed, put that cover on you, and boom, kick doors is on.
So she let you made it out the tub.
That's what I was going to say. You made it to the bed?
Yeah.
I got it out the tub naked.
She wants you to make you feel like, I forgot.
But so you ain't never got one while you was in the tub? You getting out drying off, you like, oh, and you thinking she don't forgot?
I might have did, but
Half
I don't
wet,
remember
them
that
things
one.
sting.
It's just when I get comfortable in my mind, that's when she gets you. Like, you're going to feel all of it.
Yeah, that's how my mom was. She used to, used to be a mental battle. She used to come home, take your clothes off, and you stand right there. I stand there for about 3-4 hours. She done turned her light off. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get in the bed. I turn my light off, light come right back on, boom.
Well, I'm glad I ain't had your mama.
Yeah, that was different.
That's torture.
That was different.
I'm already know she gonna kill me. She gonna make me wait 4 hours. But you ever experienced this right here? How you thought you got away with it, been about 3 or 4 days unpassed. And that joker sit there and say, if something I'm supposed to beat you for. Where I came from? What you mean you supposed to? It's something you did 3 days ago. But you like, what in the? You ain't never went through that? So she tell you about 3-4 days after you done did what you done did, you got a beating after that?
I got punched.
Oh,
Just a little punch, that's it? Man, he made it. You made it out, son.
got a few.
Let me tell you what them old school mama used to do. I'm gonna help educate you right quick. When you did what you did, if it was a shoe, belt, drop cart, whatever, fly swap, whatever was close they got their hand on, that's what they hit you with. But let me tell you something what I actually hate what my mama used to do. We gonna get to the love part, but we gotta get this out right here first. You ever been sitting in your room? Because this was before they made remote controls. So you ain't ready for that.
Man.
And we used to have a little upstairs. Yeah. And them jokers will call you while you laying in your bed doing what you doing and say, come here, turn that TV. See, back in the days, you was the remote control. You ever went through that?
Yeah.
You did?
Oh, yeah. Turn the TV, adjust the antenna.
Go outside,
stand there.
turn the antenna. Oh, right there. Turn that thing a little bit back to the left.
See, he laughed. See, he done experienced that. I don't think a lot of people went through that. And see what it is? That's what I'm trying to tell you. That made us. Like now, man, well, we talking about the mama's love. I ain't gonna even go that far. But, okay, so we understand for us what a mother is. We got the definition. So tell me your definition of what love is. Anyone, what is love? Your definition of love. Any one of y'all.
Patient.
Patient.
In my world, love is discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah, it was that. Man. Her love.
I said, what's your definition
What's
of
my
love?
definition of love?
Yeah, your definition. We ain't got to her love.
Oh,
yet.
it doesn't have boundaries on what it'll do as far as caring for you, looking out for your best interest, being interested in what's the best thing for you. That's why I say love is.
So your best interest. What love is to you, Antoine?
I would say
I'm gonna help him out, y'all. How you love your wife?
I'll do anything for her.
Okay, that's love. so let's look at this right here. So now we understand for us, we spoke the definition of a mother, then we spoke on the definition of love. So if we bring them two together, this is the good part. How would you describe your mother's love for you then? Any one of y'all, how would you describe your mother's love? Like, just speak about some of the things. Like, well, I can't tell you what to say, but describe your mother's love for you. For you.
I'll use my mom, for example. Her greatest love for me was really just being that example. She literally did whatever she could to take care of me. She did whatever she could to make sure she had a way, we had a way, and always taught me what was right regardless. Like, her love was something very, very special because you couldn't even copy a mother's love. A father can do what he wants to do. A mother's love, it comes from the heart. Like, if a kid falls, a man just looks down, oh, he'll be all right. But the mother's like, whoa, let me double check. You all right? And you scream, whatever. But, like, my mom's love was really, like, it was sacrificial.
Wow, sacrificial. I mean, I'm gonna let y'all go, but if y'all don't go, I'm gonna go. I mean, we talking about our mothers right now. Well, let me tell you about my mother's love. I would say it's like I can't even fathom, as far as the words to use, for my mother's love. It just, we talk about crazy faith. I believe it was just crazy, like a crazy love that she had or have, because I can say this right here, like, no matter what I wanted, no matter how big it been, she would sacrifice and make sure that we had everything that we had needed. I remember some days, man, like, you got to think about it. My mom was a single parent. And being as far as a single parent, that means you got to be the provider, you got to be the mother, you got to be the father, you got to be everything. And so with that being said, like, some days, I mean, she trying to do all of this. Some days, man, you ever had, I'm about to put a little joke in it, but I'm showing you as far as her love. She's going to make sure that food is on the table no matter what she had to go through, no matter what we endure. She made sure. You ever eat grits and bacon or something for lunch and dinner?
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying because a mother's love, she's going to make sure if nothing in the refrigerator, guess what? She's going to make whatever in that house, she's going to make a meal out of it. I'm just telling you what my mother's love was for me when I was growing up. And the crazy part about it, sometimes, we went through that at a certain period of time, but it wasn't always like that. But then the crazy part about it is, like, my mama had me so small, which is crazy, and I look back and I think I'm going to cry because I have to do better as a son, too. My mama used to have me so small. Like, when them J's came out, when we used to go to school and the Jordans came out, and, like, you want to be the first ones with them on and all that. So my mama would wake up 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and take me to the store to make sure I'm the first one they get the shoes before she take me to school. It's like, it's her love was so crazy, man. No, don't get me wrong, she beat me. She did that, but at the end of the day, she let me know she loved me. And one thing that I love about what my mother said, y'all should have had talk. This is my mother's love. Like, when I was growing up, she taught me so much of stuff. She taught me how to wash clothes. She taught me how to, like, cook a little bit. My wife said I can't cook, but she taught me well enough to cook that, that it tastes good for me. Yeah. So she taught me how to wash clothes. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to go I was grocery shopping when I was 14, 15. I mean, walking down the road to go grocery shopping, because, I live in, like, I'm about to say a little city, but it ain't no city, but you know what I'm saying? It got the bylaws and everything. So she instilled something on the inside of me. And what my mom always tell me, she said, I'm teaching you this right here. She was giving me the game early. She said, I'm teaching you this right here so that you will have enough in you where you won't have to depend on no woman. I didn't understand what she was talking about at the time. But she was making sure she was putting substance on the inside of me. So that's when my wife found me. I can cook. I can wash clothes. I can do all the above, but I wouldn't have been able to do that if it wasn't for my mother.
All right. Man, I would say one portion of my mother's love was I saw that she didn't have a limit to her endurance. She'd be up like early in the morning in the dark. She would ride a bike for miles to go to the job that she had to go to. And she'd be up late nights doing things. And I mean, and took care of all of the things whenever she would get home. It's like, she never tired out. I never saw her tired or exhausted or napping, like falling out. She had no limit to what she would go forward in doing. And she taught me really, man, how to be industrious. Because my mother did so many things. She had so many gifts and talents. She used to crochet. She used to make bouquet of roses from crocheting. She made blankets and scarves and stuff for people. She sewed. She was a seamstress. She got to the point from when she first started to just like making repairs on stuff to like later in years that she had like multiple machines, and she would like do like wedding parties. She would do the gown for the bride, do the bridesmaids. She got to that point to where she had a brand and whatnot. She had all kind of businesses, man. She crocheted, she sewed, she ran daycares till she started her own home daycare. And she even when they came out to do an inspection on my mother, she exceeded their standards. She actually ended up being a consultant for DSS on setting the standards for home daycares. She taught me how to make a business, how to always make something for yourself so you never had to sit in a position of having to hold your hand out or be dependent on somebody and having to ask somebody for something and they say no, or they just withholding it from you because they can. So they don't ever give your attention to somebody who doesn't want your attention. My mother was my big sister, my best friend. She had me early. She had me real young. She had me when she was 15. So she used to beat me sometimes when we was out in public, and I would tell people that she was my sister. They like, that's your sister? They're like, yeah, that's my sister. And I'd get it for that. But she was my sister. She was my friend. That was a mentor. She really taught me entrepreneurship. My mother was the epitome of everything. I mean, later in life when she came to Christ, and she was the example of a true missionary and Samaritan and really giving your life to the Lord and being submitted to him. Her prayer life, and yeah, she was just that.
Wow.
I just want to say I'm thankful for the way she raised me. She didn't allow me to be raised how she was raised.
Come on.
Like some of the warfare she had to deal with, I didn't have to go through some of that because she already been through that. She didn't want to put that on me.
That's a mother.
That is, and I think for us as a parent, just in general, it's like what we supposed to do. How I came up, I got to make sure that my kids' life is better than mine. It's like I give them more opportunities than I have had. So I would tell my kids, man, I be telling them, I'm making it hard for y'all. Because when y'all have kids, that means what me and your mama did for y'all gotta outdo us for y'all kids. Because we putting y'all in positions and giving y'all opportunities to be able to do that. And what a lot of people don't understand, they feel like I got a life, but then what about when your kid come? Your kid life is supposed to be better than yours. And I can honestly say that my mother, I'll be still on this. She gave me a life, man, it was just beautiful. I mean, did we have ups and downs? Yeah, we did. But at the end of the day, I could have went and asked for anything in the world. And anything in the world I want, my mama made sure I had. And it was crazy, just being a single mama and always do it. I remember, man, Christmas used to be crazy, man. Like the whole living room full up with toys and all kind of stuff. She got me buying, I know it's not about material stuff, but it's just the fact of what she did. It's like, you remember back in the day, they got Power Wheels now. I forgot what we had. We had them little, yeah. No, but we had them little things too. I had she brought like a tank or something.
It had the big wheel.
Yeah, it had like those little 6 wheels and stuff on it. I remember she brought that stuff, BB gun.
Had that good stuff.
Boy, I had some good stuff. I ain't gonna sorry, but had me spoiled, man. I ain't gonna, and then she gave me love with it though. That's what I love about it. She gave me love, man. So my next question would be, describe to us. No. Tell us about your relationship with your mother. Your relationship, any one of y'all. The relationship that you and your mother had coming up.
Coming up, it was a tough world. I can say now, because I'm in Christ and she is when the true relationship started. I don't think we ever said, I love you, until after accepting Christ. It was awkward to say it growing up. It wasn't a thing. Now, my mom, she was a determined woman, having somebody there, but having somebody there, if you get my drift. So it was tough. But she was so determined. Like, my mom was disabled when we were young, so my mom never had a job. Like, she had surgery on her neck, where she almost been paralyzed. So, very dysfunctional home. I mean, but our relationship, I would say our relationship now, because of Christ, is she taught me how to figure it out, because she had to. She didn't have no education, living off of government, living in the projects, but she showed so much of determination, and she was very sacrificial. Like, she did whatever it took to be sure we had cat eyes. I ain't had the Jordans and all that exquisite stuff. We had $10 shoes.
You had the Cougars.
Yeah, right? Slamming Jams. Stuff like that. Like, but she done what she did, what she could, to be sure we had, cross colors on, we had cross colors. She did that. Like, we didn't have a car, she didn't have a license, so if we had to go out of town to where my grandmother stayed, which is like 20 minutes, we'll get side the road, because we had this time frame of knowing somebody coming to take us to grandma's house, like 15 minutes away. So all 4 of us, we walking, we up to the top of the road, hoping to see and catch a ride. Like, she was so determined. Like, she didn't let her circumstances stop her.
Come on.
She didn't have that kind of love herself. Like, it was an abusive situation there, with my grandmother and my granddad. They will always fight. It was crazy. She was so determined. She was very sacrificial. But coming in Christ, I'm gonna wrap up what I'm saying, but coming to Christ, I guess I owe that to my mom, because through my brother, she started going to church. We wasn't raised in church, so when I was about 13, 14, 15, the first time I ever started going to church, and it was because of her, I had to go then, right? So I had to go to church, but it taught me the foundation of holiness where we've been. So it was her getting in position that caused me to just at least go and, hear what was going on. Not saying I was always interested, but I had an opportunity through her to hear it. So, and I guess, man, I put her through so much. We'll just talk later on about that. But
No, you put her through so much. That's your relationship. I'm pretty sure everybody up here did. I put my mama through too. What are you talking about? But you said something that I want to touch on. You said something about far as like not saying far as I love you, different things like that. So I think in our household too, I don't know if we use the word love, but we knew love was there. But we never say like I love you, I love you, I love you. And I think now I adopt that word and I made that word mine. And I tell my kids, I tell my wife, I try to make sure I tell her, see you later, I love you. I try to make sure that, I try to show it through my actions and I try to show it through far as what I speak to. So you can never say, well, my daddy don't love me. I mean, and how come well, did I tell you I love you? I tell you every time I see you, right? So, that's something I always practice. I try to make sure that I let them know that. And I know one time, I'm going to go, because, sometimes in life, man, when you're trying to find your way with life, sometimes you get lost in life. And like I said, I think one time before I had a conversation with my older daughter, Kinea, and I had that conversation when we moved here in Columbia, and I don't know how I'm just saying. So I'm trying to wrap this up to make our show far as how a mother, sometimes when she's the mother and the father, she making sacrifices that we don't know she making. So when I had a conversation with my daughter, she was like, Dad, you was never I think it was like 5 years. She's like, Dad, 5 years, you was never there. I said, well, I was working. I'm trying to keep a roof over on your head. I'm trying to keep food on your table. So for 5 years, but that conversation was the most hurtful, difficult conversation I could ever have with my child, because I'm thinking one way, and all your child wants is Dad, I want you. You see what I'm saying? So that put me in a position to say, Lord, I never do that again. But then I had to go back and think about as far as how my mama raised me, and she never did that. I mean, though she provided, but she made sure that she was available to us, so in providing, if I could say that. Now, I mean, at one particular time, probably not. Yeah, I gotta be real. But at the end of the day, when she made sure that I knew that she was there. So, and another thing I want to tell you too, but you know how much I had a pair of Cougars. You know how much Cougar costs now?
Couple thousand.
But I'm just high now. Something that we used to go get a Payless to give for like $10.
$10.
And $5.99.
Yeah, pick and pay.
It's crazy. Y'all me asking the question again? Describe your relationship with your mother. Whoever wanted.
I'll say mine is different than when I grew up. My relationship with my mom growing up was, my mom's very antisocial. She don't talk to nobody. So when we grew up together, it was just me and her. And as everybody already know, I talk a lot. So it was just me and my mother just throughout that whole phrase. I remember, I think I was in 11th grade, I told her, I said, there's nothing in this world you could do to ever hurt me. Wow. That's how much I love you. You're my best friend, this, that, and the third. And of course I got in trouble. We went through our little stuff, whatnot, but I told Mama, I said, it was never a moment in life that you would ever make me feel any kind of way about you. You could whoop me, you can do whatever you want, Ma. You my mother. You protected me. I've seen her sacrifice for jobs. I've seen her go through, I've seen her mentally, physically, spiritually abused by so many people. And that's why she just stick to herself and God. That's it. If it don't got nothing to do with God right now, she's not going forward with it. And me watching her do that, it really taught me that she can really be content in any situation. I've seen her been physically abused, everything go on, cops come, she go back in the room, she in her journal writing, praying.
I can stop you right there? Mm-hmm. You saw her physically abused? Mm-hmm. What you did?
Wait, what?
What you did?
What I did?
Yeah.
What do you mean what I did?
Oh, thank God for the Holy Ghost. My mom went through a situation like that too.
So did my mom.
And you know what I did? Yeah, I'm a pastor now. He ain't did that no more. That's your mom. Yeah, I understand, but we where we at right now. But hey, I mean that was
I was
17,
about,
16.
No, I was about 4 or 5 years old though.
Oh, 4 or 5. But I was 16. I thought he was fool, and I had to let him know he was fool. Yeah, but I went through a situation like that too, and I might need to leave this situation alone. I just believe that a man should never put his hands on a woman. I believe if you're in a situation, try to walk away from it. Cause I just believe that, and that's something that somebody that's taking care of you. You came from out of her womb. She gave you life, and to see for another man do that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was my reaction, and I never had to worry about that again. So that's why I asked that. You gotta understand that. And I am not going to say it was the right thing for me to do at that time, but I mean, I'm 16. So my thing is, it said that the man's supposed to be the provider and the protector of the house. You no longer protect them once you put your hands on her. I don't care how mad my wife gonna make me in life. Notice I say that gonna make me, because we still living. It's not my right to put my hands on her. And so, I just look at it, that's something a man shouldn't do. I think you're not a man. I think you less of a man if you do something like that. So that was my perspective. That's why I asked you what you did, but you were false. I understand. You got the Holy Ghost now. But remember, the Bible says it's a time for everything. It's a time for war. I shouldn't be talking like this. But at the end of the day, that was mama, man. I mean, I'm going to let somebody else go. Your relationship, where we at? I don't know. I probably talked too much just now, but I was a kid.
Growing up, me and my mom relationship, it was decent. Like, I was always running around, so we spent time together. But the more we go through stuff, the stronger our bond's starting to get. Like, God allowing us to get closer through, like, what He pulling me out of. So when you get in the situation I'm in now, like, it's building our bond stronger than ever now. But when I was younger, I was just running around doing whatever I wanted. Or I was in sports, so I was always at practice or running around in the hood or something, doing something. So I just feel like as I got older, that's when, and I was going to church a little bit sometimes here and there, but the more we got older and then the more I started knowing about God, it started making me want to build a stronger relationship with my mom.
Wow. So I want to touch on that note too. So with that, as far as church-wise, like, where I grew up like in the country. So in the country, like when you live in the country, you got grandmama right here. They buy a lot of land, and they put everybody like on that land. And then you got your cousins over there on about 10 or 15 acres, so you can walk back and forth, for around your family. So with my mother didn't do church like that. So I got my foundation from church from my grandma. Because every time my grandma went to church, well, I was like, you right there in church. Well, he's like, you was in church, well, every day. And God forgive me, man, it used to be so boring. I mean, when you there, all them old people, and you looking like, and don't go to sleep. Oh my God. It's not like Big Mama, boy, I'm trying to tell you. But what I'm trying to get at is, so I didn't have that relationship for as experiencing God for as with my mother. I got that foundation for us from my grandma. So that's where I got that from. And to share a little bit about my relationship with my mom's, she was like my best. My mom was like I could tell my mom like anything. And like she was just she was my mother, she was my friend. I mean, she was just a cool human being. But at the end of the day, she still let me know I'm still your mama. She let me know that. And when I used to be little, man, remember I tell you, like, I don't know, I guess, I don't know, I Muslim was bad. I don't know, you know you little, you trying to find your way. So, my mama been my lawyer. Well, my mama been, anything I need from my mama, that's what my mama was. Now, I know I was wrong. I remember sitting in the yard, in the country, where you get bored, you climb trees, you got BB gun, so your mind start to get creative. I don't know why I'm telling y'all this right here. So your mind start to get creative. You like, man, I done did everything. So I remember my mom brought me a BB gun. Yeah, y'all used to do that too? I don't know what I was thinking about. So you sit like you a little sniper on the ground when the car go by. you start shooting the windows. I'm like, what made me do that? I still can't fathom why I did that. So you said it was fun? But why we did that though? We was in the country and bored. So I started shooting call, we know, with a BB gun, right? So my mama caught me one time doing it. And boy, she put them paws on me. But guess what? It didn't stop me though. I went back and did it again. This time the people caught me. It came to the house. Now my mama knew she was wrong for this time. So they tried to sue us. I'm like, oh Lord. I'm telling you, she was my lawyer. She said, don't worry about. She ain't said don't worry about. Of course she cut my rump. She beat me. And man, we went to court, man. And my mama won. I didn't understand that. But that last time I shot windows with a BB gun now. That I ain't did that no more. It's so much I experienced with my moms, man. It was like she allowed me to experience a lot with her. But one thing she didn't give me the foundation of God. Now she didn't do that, but everything else, she was there. I mean, everything. No matter what. I mean, now this is the crazy part about it. I know where we at, but anything you can fathom and imagine, I had a conversation with my moms about, because I didn't have a daddy. So, y'all know I like to go to the edge a little bit. So you know how a man's supposed to talk to you about the birds and the bees? I'm talking the conversation with my mom. I'm like, man, you my mom. I'm like, how we have the conversation? Boy, you ain't bring me no grandbabies in here. Like, your mama. So you know what I'm trying to say? So what I'm trying to say is, it's like she was more than my mom's. It's like she did things that a man's supposed to be doing, but she had to step in and fulfill roles that she shouldn't have to do, because a man didn't step up to what he's supposed to be doing. So my mom was wonderful. So anybody else, you got a relationship with your mother? We already got everybody?
Yeah, my relationship, my mother she kept me close. She really kept me close. She showered me with affection. Yeah. I should have been a mama's boy, but at the same time, she still toughened me at the same time too, because it was just us, and she was being real young, and she went through a lot even before having me, and she pretty much like always warned me about people's motives and their agendas and how they do stuff and all of that. So she always kept me close. She didn't let me venture out too far from her at all. And you know, I was saying, like, she was gonna make me a mama's boys. Like when I would go, like you were talking about, go down the street and play with the cousins, she'd dress me up, tuck my shirt in, had my belt, had me all neat, and had my face all done and whatnot. My aunt, she'd be like, why you send this boy down here all clean to play like this? And she'd send me back home. She like, and don't let him get dirty. You know, so.
You know what that sound like? That's like a mother and Jonah thing right there, boy. They put them bowls in the head and everything. And then you know the crazy part, and you bet not lose them. I'm gonna play. What are you talking about? Go ahead. That's crazy. It's like you setting me up to get a beating. She tell you not to get the clothes dirty too?
Yeah. She tell me not to get dirty, but to go and play. But she was like that. I mean, she, you know, she loved me like that, because I was all that she had, because you know, she was having me so early. She was put out from our family. She was like the black sheep of the family, you know. She was the whore and no good and fast, because, you know, they moved her from Connecticut and brought her to South Carolina. So, you know, in that time, those people they didn't take too kindly to her being so young and already pregnant and having me. So it was really us. So she guarded me heavily because of how they treated her. And she didn't want me to see how they treated her and how they talked about her and called her names. And she shielded me from a lot of that. And I think that's why she kept me close, because she'd always tell me, me and you, we all we have. Nobody but us. Always us. That's all she ever taught, even to later years in life when she finally got married and everything. But she let him know that, she ain't really, when they were dating, it's like, whatever you do for my son, it's a gift, because I don't necessarily need you to take care of my son. I've been taking care of him before you. So don't think that, she put him, she was tough because she was a fighter. She always had to fight and whatnot too. I mean, fisticuffs, get down, fight, yo. And yeah, she had to fight. But even to later years, from I was little until I was older, she still tried to hold on, really tried to hold on to me till I had to have a conversation with her. Like, look, ma, I'm gonna be a sissy if I still stay up under you like this. She like, but she was still like, I gotta keep you close, because we really was all we had. Even when she got married, she understood that it was just us. And I mean, she had such a protective love and a caring love that, man, you know what? She did anything to protect me and to keep me from danger from myself.
But, no, go ahead. Not cut you off, but you know what you just said something key. You said you said something key. So you actually, hold on, man. We gotta rewind. So you actually sat your mom when I had this conversation with her.
Yeah.
And you say, Mom, you gotta let me go.
Because I mean, even when I got into like being like 12, 13,
let me get to the other part though. And you told Mom, I'm gonna be a sissy if you don't let me go.
Yeah.
Like, what was her reaction?
But we could talk like that.
I know, but
yeah.
tell me how her face and look, her reaction.
She was like, I know, but you all I have. I gotta protect you. She just had the deepest, like, she just had to continue to protect me, keep me protected.
But you know what's crazy about this though? So that's something you learned back in the days, right? So now we have mothers who are doing the same thing. Y'all, we gotta talk about this real. And while they doing that, they think they protecting the child, and they thinking that they giving the child more love, but they actually they hurting the boy.
Yeah.
Because now the boy is taking on the ways of the mother, and the boy now, I mean, like you see signs that his hand might go this way, or like you can see far as
they emasculate him.
Yeah, like what is taking place, and then the crazy part about it, because of a mother's love so deep, that it blind her that she can't see what it is that's going on with her child, her son now.
Yeah, but she taught me how to defend myself. She wasn't gonna allow me to be feminine like that. Well, like, think about it. Whenever I go out, something happened and I came back and I was crying, and she was like, if you don't go back down that street and and get it,
that's it.
I'm gonna give you something. I went down there, clothes all tore up. I got it. I got my big wheel, because it was my big wheel. They took my big wheel from me and whatnot. Yeah. The one that could spin around. Yeah. But I went and I got my big wheel. My clothes was tore up and whatnot. I got a little beat up, a little bruised up. But she was like, nah, that's how a man's supposed to take care of his business. Not so much, she said, not in the fighting, but you don't let nobody take advantage of you. You let them know what's yours is yours, and you let it be known. So I mean, she taught me. I mean, she couldn't teach me like a man, but she taught me how to stand up for myself, and like the ways in the way a man should be going. Because my mother talked to me about sex. I mean, that was my friend, and I was comfortable with talking to an extent. I was comfortable with talking to her, but. Yeah, that was she was everything.
And so I understand we came from a different era, right? So when you look at that, how they raised us, and that's gonna lead me to my next question. That was good for us, because you got to understand, for us, like I tell you, my mom told me, same thing. You actually had to sit down with your moms, which was crazy, and you told me, I don't want to be, you're gonna raise me, I don't want to be no sissy. But my mama came and have a conversation with me, because I was trying to figure out why she was beating me, and she told me, I ain't raising no punk. So now look at this right. So that means they all had something in common. Because they understand they was a single parent, and they understand I'm raising a man. But why is it now with the women now? Well, we about to go off the grid. The women now that, like you said, they took your big wheel, right? And what your mama tell you, go get your big wheel. Because she understand that there's going to be times that I'm not going to be there. There's going to be times when I'm going to leave here, and you're going to have to face this on your own. So now, if you got somebody going to take a big wheel now, get the mama coming. You see what I'm saying? It's different. It's like, you go handle that, and if you can't handle it, I'm going to come. But it's like they don't give the men the opportunity now to face the trial of what they're going through. And that's why now it's like we got so many men that they confused with their identity. They don't know who they are. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like when we came up, man, it was like they made sure they were tough, and we gonna do what we got to do to be a man. But it's not like that no more. It's like I think they need to go grab some of what they did back then and instill into some of the new mothers now. That's what I feel. But this is a cave. We could talk like this.
Yeah.
This is a cave. But this is the next question right here. We got one more after this. This is the next question. And the question is, it is, from your relationship with your mother, how did it shape and mold you for where you are now in life? From all that you experienced with your mother, how did it shape and mold you for where you at now in your life?
I feel like what she went through, it made me become a hustler. So I'm watching her go out and get it for us. I'm watching her being able to provide for us mostly anything we wanted. So that she installed that in me, like, if you want something, go get it.
Yeah, I almost say about the same thing. I watch my mother, man, just make a means, she make a business out of several things. I really learned that for her to not to be in a place of a dependency ever from anybody. Let nobody hold nothing over me at all. I can always make a way. She taught me a lot. She really showed me so much affection. She taught me how to love. I raised my sons. I ain't have any problem with telling my boys that I love them from when they were small. Even now, I still tell them I love them all the time. You know, just as much as I would tell my girls. So she really taught me how to express myself emotionally. I never was bottled up until maybe some years later, and I was angry because I never got to know my dad or anything. But she taught me how to love and how to be affectionate, and that it was okay for me to be a man, be a boy, and show my affections, to cry, to tell people, you know, I express my joy and all of that. And as getting older, you know, she showed me business. She showed me how to protect myself, how to deal with people in the public, how to handle business. And then when she found the Lord, she really molded me and shaped me and walked me in the way of actually surrendering to God and worshiping and the true meaning of prayer, not for things, but to really honor him and to thank him and whatnot. And she was like, she'd always say that through all the years, God had always kept us, because it was just me and her. It was always just us. So, I mean, she taught me to love, affection, business, how to deal with people, how to just be. I ain't gonna say she taught me how to be a man, but she prepared me for when I would actually have to step into manhood, that I didn't really have to try and figure out so many different things and I'd be lost. Because, I mean, yeah, she taught me how to cook, how to wash, how to shop, all of that stuff too, so I could be self-sufficient. She really taught me self-sufficiency. She definitely taught me that.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna go next. I would say what my mama taught me, and I done heard this phrase before. I know I done heard this. It say, no woman can teach a man how to be a man. I done heard that before. But I can honestly say who I am today, my mama did that. Yeah. And that's why I can't sit here and not give her the credit for what she did. My mom, like I say, I keep saying this. Nah, we didn't have the Bible studies, or we didn't have like all that. When I go to grandma, grandma, make sure you getting that. But I didn't have that with my mom's. But at the end of the day, she made sure that you're gonna be a man. She made sure that you're gonna be a provider for your family. She made sure that I remember when I was young, and my mom would say, if you ever have a child, you're gonna take care of that child. She like, I don't care what you do, but you're gonna take care of that child. She always used to tell me that. And what I love about that is she was teaching me at an early age responsibility. Like everything I am now is from my mom. It's like the taking sending me at 14 and 15. Like I'm like, Mom, are you crazy? I'm going grocery shopping for the whole house. It's like she taught me that, and she made sure that far as what she instilled in me, whoever I married, AK, that she was going to be the best for them. And that's what I love about my mom's, like, it's like what she instilled on the inside of me at an early age, like what like when life brought certain situations, like she had that foundation on the inside of me. And then my wife came in and just put the spice and then the salt and all that on it with it, you know what I'm saying? So with my mom's, man, I would say I wouldn't be me if it wasn't for her. I wouldn't.
I think the greatest lesson my mom taught me was endurance. Seeing her go through, it's like this is the only way I can go with this. Like I'm serious. Like I came like very extremely dysfunctional family. Like so me seeing her go through certain things and how she handled it and stood up and made ways, and sacrifice, is like she didn't sit down and say, hey, this. I didn't have no conversations. You guys are fortunate. Like I didn't have life lessons conversations. I had a belt and looking at circumstances and learning from it just visually. That's what I had. I learned, can I say, from their lessons, their wrongs, their mistakes. That's how I learned. So endurance, man, from her abuse to government and food stamps, and that's your uncle in that room, if you get my drift, you know? Like for real. So she taught me what not to do. Seriously, that's my lesson. And let me say this. Yeah, I'll say this. After Christ, and I got to go back to this. After Christ, her stepping in the position to give an opportunity for us to see, it was kind of like I think it was Jochebed, Moses' mom. My mom was to the point where she would always worry about me. I was 13, 14. I would leave home. 13, 14, I would leave home and don't come back till Sunday. I know I had to go to church. I would go and I would be away. I'm at 13 or 14, I'm in the streets. I'm smoking, I'm doing whatever. Because I learned that from her. That's what they did. They smoked weed around us. They did all this drinking, all of this. This is my environment. So because she stepped in that position and gave me an opportunity, I would just encourage some parents. The parent that once she got Christ, I didn't yet, so I still ran the streets. And she would cry all the time. Like, I got worried. I didn't think you would return home. Like, you going all week, all on the weekends, and you coming back, I don't know. So I would see her cry, worry. I come in the house high. All of this, she would cry. But I saw where she stopped crying. Like, she gained her confidence in God. But you know what? I'm not worried about him no more. She started applying prayer. And she stopped worrying. So I would say to the parent that's thinking they're protecting their child, to where they cuffing them and not giving them the experience, but the ones that worried because you know they out there doing something they don't need to be doing, hanging around the group they don't need to be hanging around. give it to God. Like, I literally saw, because of her prayer, where my life eventually went. And I was able to come back. Like, I use Moses' mom, for example, because she got to the point where she couldn't hide him no more. Like, she couldn't just keep him no more. She had to put him in the basket. Like, I gotta just, you know what? I just gotta apply faith to this. I can't worry no more. They gonna kill him anyway if he stay here. So she just put him in the basket and let him go. And she eventually ended up getting him back. And she gained wages for raising her own son. And she had the ability to instill godliness into him. Had the ability to say, this is God. This is the examples of God. This is what you do. These are the promises God made. So it was because she stopped worrying and she just put him on the water and said, God, you have control. You do what it is you got to do. And so that happened for me in my life. She stopped worrying. And eventually, God saved me, like, because her prayers. So that's why I love my mom so much, because she stepped in a position, in spite of everything that happened.
Come on.
In spite of all of that, it was the pivotal point. It was the greatest moment of her placing herself in the position that we was able to experience God. And that's what I'm most grateful for in a mom's love. Like, that right there, it was life-changing. Life-changing.
For me, I think the two major things I learned from my mom is how to stay content in every situation regardless. I mean, I've seen her go through the highest time where she's in right now. I mean, she's in a lovely place. I mean, she's in a lovely place right now. But you wouldn't be able to tell the difference between her now and her then, because she still operates the same way. She doesn't let nothing get too exciting for her. She doesn't let nothing ever bring her down. And because of I've seen her literally scrape pennies on the ground to get me diapers. Like, I was in a situation, 2 years ago, I was homeless, and I literally said, how am I gonna get myself out of this situation? And I did some stuff that my mom couldn't forgive for a while. And my mom stopped talking to me. We didn't talk for like 5 years. And to the point I was like, God, what's going on? What's going on? Because she made me go to God and not to my mom. Because I used to always go to my mom for it. Every single thing. Oh, mom this, mom that, I'm in trouble. Mom this, mom that, I'm in trouble. Mom this, mom that. And after certain things, she said, I'm just giving you to God. You can call me, you can text me. I probably won't answer. I probably won't, I'm be honest with you, until you really get yourself fully together, until I know for real you in God, and not saying, oh, mom, I'm in church, look at this, look at Bible verse, until you playing these games, until you fully in God, I won't talk to you no more. And I went 4 years. A lot of people was like, oh, that's tough, your mama shouldn't do that, that's not love. But I said, that's the best thing she's ever done for me, because it literally forced me to go to God, because I didn't trust nobody else. I only trusted my mother. There was no other human being on this earth I trusted. And then when she let that thing go, and like for 5 years, it literally made me go, all right, I gotta find God, gotta find God. So I literally started thinking about how will my mom survive in this situation. Let me think about all the stuff that she's implanted inside of me. And literally to this day, that's literally what we have now. Our relationship's much better now. We're talking and texting, seeing each other. But that was the greatest gift my mom ever gave me, was literally, it sounds weird, but letting me go and not talk to me, literally saying, hey, literally went months, it's happy birthday, happy Mother's Day, it's my birthday, nothing. And it hurt for a while, but now we really look back and I say, thank you, Mom, because if I wouldn't have done that, you was going to be my God until forever.
You know what? Can I, man?
We only got one more question.
Yeah, cause there, it's definitely a difference, man. Cause y'all talked about that. Boy, my mother's, same thing. Her love changed to a different thing once she found the Lord. Cause I was older then, and about the same thing. I was running the streets and doing things, and my mother would come up to my job like on a Friday, and she would come to pray for me, because my middle name is Jermaine. She's like, I'm coming to see my son Jermaine before you turn into that other Jermaine. Later down the line, my mother told me that she could see a spirit that would start falling on me like on Thursdays or something right before the weekend would come, and she would come and pray over me, and my mother, man, and all that I was doing, I never disrespected her, as far as I never wanted her to see me when I was high, when I was drinking, or catch me in the places that I was doing. But she caught me someplace one day, and I was high and all of that, and I knew what she wanted to do. I already knew she wanted to pray. I got in my car and I took off, and she got in her car and she took off.
That's a mother's love.
And we had a high-speed chase. I took my mother on a high-speed chase through some back roads and back streets, and she was right there following me, because she was going to get that prayer to me, But she finally, when she got to the Lord, she eventually got to that too, that where she was like, I pray with you, but you good, because God got you. I don't have to chase you down. I know that you're safe. I don't like what you're doing, but yeah, literally. but but she taught me that love of Christ that was like, you know what, he's got you. And it kind of like took me off guard, because I was like, man, that ain't you. You usually always like, you're going to call, look for me, calling around, having people send a message and all that. But then she pulled back from all of that. And that's what really kept me through the nights of getting locked up and being in certain incidents to where, she took care of me. I got thrown out of a car one night doing stuff I had no business doing. And she bandaged me up and took care of me, because I had asphalt burns over my body. And she was like, but God got you. She just saying, but God's got you. God's got you, doing all of that. So that love that she gained once she found the Lord, it did something to me. And it ended up grounding me later. I would go to church with her, and then after she passed, I felt like I didn't know what I was going to do. I mean, I had my children and I had a family and all of that, but it was in my head that we all we got. We all we got. And she was all that I had. She was really all I had. But she wasn't going to leave until she knew that I was right with the Lord. She held on. She held on and didn't go until she saw that I straightened out and that it got right and that her prayers were answered. They were just starting to be answered. A lot of them, I know that they're still being answered now for a lot of stuff. I cry from joy now, because I wish that she could actually see me serving and really being a man of God and what I do with my children and everything. Yeah. I really wish she could see me in this point in my life, really God answering her prayers. So, it's like a thing, like you're saying, even though she gone, it's like, so God, he doesn't forget the prayers. Even though she gone, he's still having to answer and honor the prayers that she put up, because I never would have thought I'd be in this place, living for Christ and not ashamed about it, to speak about Christ and put him out there to the people I used to run with, those that know my past. I'm so happy that she found the Lord, so that she could have instilled that in me, even after she gone. And it makes me, I'm chasing him for me, but I chase him, and I just can't go back, because it would break her heart for me to come to God and all his goodness, and then because I did it for her, so I ain't do it for myself, so I couldn't stay there. I'm there for me, but I knew this she would have been so overjoyed to just see me living for Christ and active, really active, not just saying, claiming the Lord, but active and whatnot, and really dispersing him out everywhere I go. So I that her giving her life to the Lord, it changed, it upgraded the way that she loved.
Go ahead.
And also, like, my mom was like my first foundation of knowing what faith was. Like her prayer, like, even though we wasn't fully living for God, like, she always told me about God and wanted us to pray at night when we was younger, coming up. And like, I feel like even though we wasn't fully living in God, through her faith, we still got blessed by God. Like, no matter the situation, like, it been times where we in the hotel room. When we first moved out here, we was in the hotel room for like 6 months. We had to live in a hotel because she couldn't get a house, and I just had moved from Connecticut, and like she just was in her word every single day. Like she was praying, like just allowing God to work through her until He opened that door. And this was during COVID, like so. Like it was hard, like. But she installed faith in me. Like even before I fully committed to God, we always knew God had a relationship, but we wasn't fully living for Him. But it's just she always made sure that we prayed. She always made sure that we had faith. Like no matter what it was, like if you believe it, it'll come true. Like I remember when back in Connecticut, I didn't know if I was going back to school, to college. I had got suspended off the football team because when I caught my case, they found out about it. I got suspended off the football team. I was still living in the dorms there. Then I was going into my next semester, so I was home. And I'm just like, yo, I don't know how I'm going to get back to school. I don't got no money to pay for my dorm, none of that. She's like, go pray. So I went upstairs. I went to pray. And probably like an hour later, my boy had called me because I had worked with him over like in the first semester of my school year in New York with him. So he called me like, bro, you won't believe this. I was like, what? He was like, bro, instead of them giving you $349, they give you $3,490 so you could go back to school now. So it's just the fact that, it's just the faith she had, like she put that in me without me even realizing it through her actions. Even though we wasn't fully in God, we still have faith.
I'm going to say this right here before we go to the next question. I just got to say this to you too. From how you describe your mother and you describe her and you say you just wish, she was here to see you. I just want to just, that she is seeing you. She's seeing you from up above in a greater place. So I just want to leave you with that so you will know that. Even though I know you know that, you just want to hear, I got you. So this is the last question for the night for everybody. And the last question will be, what would you change if you had or have the power to do so right now with your mother? That's the question. The question is, what would you change if you had or have the power to do so right now with your mother?
I like to answer that. I would change everything. It's a hard subject for me. I never knew my mom. She passed away before I turned 2. So I would literally give up everything just to have her right now.
Yes, Lord. Yes, God. Jesus. We're going to go ahead and try to finish this. And when y'all can answer.
For me, I would change the actions I did for us to stop being best friends. Like, I know we talk like maybe once a month and text here and there, but there was a time me and my mom talked every day for hours, nonstop. So if I could change one thing, it would just be my actions during that period of time.
it's not a lot that I would go back and change. Thinking about it, I thought about this lots of times, but I think what I would have loved to change was the fact of, man, the many nights I called her from the detention center, or she saw me had to come and get me from the hospital, or I showed up where she had to bandage me up. All of the all of the anxiety and the worry that I put on her when I was just selfish and doing my thing. I'd love to have changed that, because sometimes I'd hold myself guilty because I felt like she got sick because of me, that I made her sick because of worry. But I realized that's what it wasn't me, but what she instilled in me, she gave me my foundation that, I realized in praying and talking back and forth with the Lord, that when she passed, that was, it was other circumstances in our life, but it was to give her rest. It wasn't so much rest from me, but it was rest from other things that she had to deal with and fight with. But she knew that I was good, and then I wouldn't have been able to search for God the way that I searched for him if she was still here, because I would have pulled on her for her praying, for her to talk to the Lord for me. So when she left, it pushed me into the place of having to come to him and talk to him and be before him on my own behalf. That's the only thing I think I would change, was anxiety and worry and crying nights and days that I put her through.
Anybody else next?
I would just change the way we express love for each other. It's not about the material things we could buy for each other, but about being there for each other in the darkest moments.
Um, I it seemed as if I wouldn't. It's a lot you could change. I could or want then, but the position I'm in now, I think what I put her through, it drove her faith. So it actually placed her in a better position in life, um, as well as me. So I think I would change. I think I would change the fact that she put up with a whole lot that she didn't have to. If I could change that circumstance for her, to not to have to devalue herself, I think I would change that. To not have to sell her body. Um, I think even with the abusive situation, I would have changed that. She was almost paralyzed because of abuse. I would change her circumstances so she wouldn't accept that individual that would hit her in places we didn't notice. Like in the back of the neck. Can't notice that. Yeah. I would take us far away.
Yes, Lord. You sometimes God will do things, and in him doing things, he'll do things to get your attention. Like I thought coming up here, this is going to be another man cave. I thought coming up here, just right now, we're just going to ask this, I'm going to ask this. And not thinking the thing that I'm going to ask is going to be the thing that really make me look at life. And I know I have the power to do it because my mom's still living. I listen to Toby, I listen to Daniel, and y'all can never get that opportunity again. And my mama living. She living. And I be so busy. And all that I sit up here and say she did for me. So if I could change, then I'm going to change. It will have a relationship with her, with God. Something I never had with her. And I'm in a position to do that now. But the devil, the enemy, for the last couple of years been playing with my mind. Because the woman of God, the woman that I knew as far as my mother was a strong woman. She's the strongest woman I ever seen. I never seen a woman that ever go through what my mama went through. And I just look at my mama as Superman, like Superwoman. Because my mama recently, she, about maybe a year ago, somewhere up in there, she just got in a wheelchair and she can't walk now. And I said, Lord, I don't want to remember my mama like that. I want to remember my mama as a strong, tough lady, who she is, the one that beat me, the one that shaped me, the one that molded me, the one that got me. I just want to know my mama like that. And what the enemy been doing for me, what to me, he had me thinking, you know, if you're going to establish a relationship the way that what you want from your mama, then she might leave. And I'm like, God, I couldn't live with that pain. I don't know if I can live and go through that. So I try to put like a distance. I try to put something like, I just don't want to be in a position where I get happy and then something happen. I don't know if I can live with myself. My mama called me sometimes like, you forget you got a mama, huh? I'm like, nah. Well, you ain't called me. And sometimes, you know, I know I'm a pastor. We battle with things, and I see my mama, she getting older, and I'm like, I don't know if I can handle that. And then, you know, you got to be strong for other people. And when other people going through, you got to make sure that you there for them, but we healed it. I don't know if I can handle that. And I'm afraid of that. But I know I still have the power to change that. And sometimes I'll be there like, that's all my mama want. And then when I'm like, if I give her that, what if she get so at peace, so relaxed, and then something happen? I'm afraid of that. So I need prayer in that department. But I'm going to change it though. I'm going to change it. I got an opportunity to do it still. Because you know what the biggest regret would be? If my mama leave here and I never change that. And my wife always tell me, you got to give your mama God. She always tell me that. So I don't know, this was a setup. Oh, God. God like that.
It's all right.
Y'all got anything else before we leave from this place? Anybody in the audience got anything? Look at the little baby, got her hand raised. She probably got, God might want to speak through her. Chris, go give her a mic. I don't know, you never know. Look at your mama. She about to, the Holy Ghost might be about to speak.
Jesus, Jesus,
What she say? Jesus,
Jesus,
Jesus love you.
Jesus love you.
Jesus love you. See? Wow. God love us, y'all. We just have to do better. Yes, Lord. We about to leave after.
I just want to say, my mom, I wasn't the best child. I was the oldest, but she taught me. My dad, I had both of my parents. This ain't even nothing to cry about. It's just y'all got me crying.
Where you going?
I'm about to get a bit. Man, we on camera. I'm about to fall. Paul said, I was going to get the tissue when he said what he said. We had need that laughter, man. I had needed it. I don't care. Jesus. Well, one thing I know, y'all won't let me fall, though.
Word.
Look at God. Go ahead, Paul.
But I was make it short though. But we had both our parents, and my dad was an example of a leader. But my mom, I definitely didn't always. But now that I'm older, I appreciate and I realize more what she did for us. I was young and I was just seeing what my cousins was doing. We was all dumb and outside and stuff. And it made me real upset a lot of times when I want to go be dumb too, but I gotta go home and take food out and make sure they doing their homework and this and that. So after I got the ability to leave the house, I distanced myself more and more, not because I didn't love them, but because my mom wouldn't let me be a bad example for them. So I couldn't do so much stupid stuff around them. So I'm going to leave the house as much as I can. I'll go get in trouble. I don't care. I'm supposed to be home whatever time. I'll come home 10, 11, 12. I'll get in trouble, but I got to go outside. And seeing how my cousins ended up with all these kids and all these problems and STDs and mental problems and all these different problems. And I was protected from them. My mother, we didn't have all the shoes and all the coats and all the jeans. We would go to school, reading the chapter of the Bible, chapter of Proverbs every day. It's 31 chapters of Proverbs. Reading the chapters of Proverbs every day. I didn't take it in as a child, but it was getting taken in. We got picked on. We didn't have cups of noodles. We had styrofoam cups of noodles, or we had styrofoam cups of cream of wheat, or we had styrofoam cups of quick oats with a little bit of sugar and some cayenne pepper and some weird stuff in it. And I didn't understand this stuff, but like you said, she wasn't going to send us to school hungry. She wasn't going, it doesn't matter if people talked about us. We was good. I said I'm going to make it short. I distanced myself because out of all my cousins, my mom kept me from this stuff. So they would say, why couldn't you be like Paul? Why couldn't you be like PJ? Why can't you do this? Why can't you act like him? He well behaved, he well spoken, he this and that, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, if they saying that, then my mom got or whatever, and I know I'm getting in trouble, and I know I'm doing a grade thing and skipping classes and stuff. But in my head, I'm like, I gotta make my mom happy. I can't be too dumb. I can't be going to jail, so I can't be too wild in the street because then my mom gonna find about it, gonna find out about it. I could do this other little stupid stuff, but I can't steal the car and ride around in it too long because we gonna get pulled over. My mom gonna find out. So I couldn't do too much stupid stuff because I still wanted to make my mom like, I still wanted to make my mom like, I still wanted her to be happy or whatever. When I was even rapping or whatever, I was trying to make her a song, and it was stupid because I was trying not to curse and I was trying not to use the stuff that I was talking about, but I was trying to make her happy. I was going to churches and asking different pastors, you know, when the Jay-Z and these people go up and accept their awards, you know, they'd be like, I want to give honor to God. How can I do my music and give honor to God? And he like, man, you can't do that. And all right, I'm going to go to a different church. And I'm trying to find a church that's like a pastor going to tell me, well, this is how you rap about all that stuff and still give honor to God. And I couldn't find it. And long story short, I keep saying that, but long story short, I wanted to keep my mother happy, and when I moved down here, I wasn't doing nothing to keep her happy, and I was lying to her. Every time I don't talk to her a lot, but every time she called me, she like, what, you go to church? You went to church this Sunday, or you went to church today? And I'm like, yeah, and I lied about the whole thing. Went to church, this was the sermon, this where he came from, the whole thing. And then one day I'm like, man, I'm gonna stop lying. I gotta stop lying to my mother, man. And I went and looked for a church. I didn't like this church, but I told her, I was able to tell her I went to church, and I was able to make jokes about the church. And that was cool because I'm a jokey person or whatever. And I went to another church, and they ain't really have nothing in it. And I'm like, I ain't going. And it went from me like just going to church to not lie to my mother to me looking for a church. I'm not even back in church, but I'm going to these churches like, God, I can't be here. I can't listen to this dude. God, I don't like this. I don't like what's going on in here. I don't know what's going on here, but it don't feel good. God, I can't come to this church. They don't got nothing in here. God, this church ain't me. God, I want a church that's like this, but like this. You know the type of person I am, and I found this church. And I didn't realize, but when my brother came down, I realized how much of a terrible example that I set for him. And he was doing some of the things that he was doing. And he wasn't just following in all of my footsteps because he wasn't doing some of the things that are a lot of the things that I was doing, but I saw the things that he was doing. I saw the things that the wrong roads that I did lead him down. And it was the relationship with my mother that brought me back to God, and that was able to bring my brother back to God. And I do believe that it'll bring my sister, whatever she got going on, she could come back to God. And I just believe that it's all because my mother, it wasn't my father. My father, he showed me, you go to work, you provide. My mother, she talked to me about the birds and the bees. My dad still called me like 2 years ago, last year, talking about we still got to talk about the birds and the bees.
You married now?
My mother had that conversation with me. My mother taught me how to fight. My dad, the only thing my dad ever taught me about fighting, somebody hit you, you punch them in the gut. My mother wrestled me down so many times to my exhaustion, and when I wanted to stop, I was done. She told me, boy, basically in so many words, I ain't raising no punt. If you want me off of you, get me off of you. It was never, okay, haha, that was good. I'm tired. We stretched out. I got her wrapped up in the legs. She trying to scratch me and pinch me on the heart. We stretched out. I'm like, Mom, please quit. She telling me stop because I'm hurting her wrist because she trying to scratch me. I'm like, stop. You're not getting out. Get me off of you. It ain't gonna be no stop. It ain't gonna be no pause. It ain't gonna be no, you not gonna grow up soft. If you want me off you, get me off you. I'm bigger than you. I'm strong. I'm not stronger than you, but I'm bigger than you or whatever. You tired. Get me off you. So she instilled this determination, this passion, whatever I wanted to do. It wasn't about getting me everything, but if she saw that I was serious about something, she supported it. If she saw I wasn't serious about something, she didn't support it all the way. It wasn't like if I came down, cool, good, like the coddling thing. I never got a coddling. Even when she supported the football, it was like, get your stuff out of my kitchen and don't put it in the living room and take it up the stairs. Don't leave it on the stairs. Okay, you sore. I didn't tell you to do the football. You like doing the football? Cool, you got to deal with what comes with the football. So it wasn't no like, it was like, okay, but this is also what comes with it. So I just be so appreciative now when I talk to her. It's like, I see what you was doing. I see. I'm sorry. I often say I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't understand, and I see now. And that's a mother.
Wow. That's a mother's love, isn't it? We about to get out of here. But you said something. You say it was your mother that brought you back to Christ. You know, just about every man in here, if you ask them how they got to Christ, it's through a woman. I can promise you 9 times out of 10, it's a woman that brought you to Christ. How you got to Christ?
My mom positioning herself.
How you got to Christ?
My mother.
Oh, okay. You want me to ask you how you got to Christ? Not him.
My mom, yeah,
your mom.
It's been a lot of nights where I'm trying to go to sleep and she yelling, praying, coming to the rooms. They'll line up, and I'm like, bro, like I'm trying to sleep. I'm not trying to hear all of this. And she up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, singing at the top of her lungs, like, yeah, it was my mom. She showed us a lot. She showed us strength. She showed us hustle. You know, she showed us a lot, man. But the most important thing she did for us was that, not let us sleep. Not we cooking with anointed oil.
Come on.
When we wanted to do dumb stuff, she screaming at us, and you know, in the moment, it's like, I don't know why mom tripping. But now looking back on it, it's like I'm thankful she was tripping.
Come on.
It could have been a lot worse.
Wow. Jesus. That's a mother's love, y'all. Who can agree with that? A mother's love. So at this time, what I want you to do, I just want us to give thanks for all the mothers in the room, for all the mothers that then had, even for my moms who's not here in her absence. I mean, let's just give thanks for every mother in the world right now. Yes, Lord. So at this time, I just want to thank y'all for coming out and just listening to us. And also the people that are on live right now, I want to thank you for just tuning in to listen to us speak on our hearts for our mother's love. I believe, y'all, this right here is a place that there'll be a lot of people that are going to go reestablish their relationship with their mothers. I believe that for us from this right here, I believe that somebody going to give their mother the respect that they deserve, and they're going to be a mother that reach out to their son. Or I just believe this relationship is going to be restored right here. That's what I believe in right here. So at this time, I don't want to keep prolonging, and I don't want to delay far as what I got, well, what we got for y'all. So y'all ready to eat? I see how many of you. I want y'all to eat as much chicken that you can eat. I brought out so much chicken that you might need to eat a lot of that chicken that I brought. I should have waited out the line. See, when you don't come, you missed us. I got some good chicken for you too. They fry that thing real good at the stove. But at this time, we want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to the Cave edition of Mother's Love. We ask you to be to come back next month and just be right here with us. Matter of fact, come into the house. We don't want you joining on live. We want you to come get the total experience. We want to feed you spiritually, and then we're going to feed you in the natural. So we want to thank you for joining, and we ask that you look out for us next month. We out. We off camera? We off camera? Not yet? Oh, I thought we was off. See, that's what they don't get because they somewhere else. They should have been in the building. Let me know when we off.
You ready to get off?
Huh?
You ready to be done? You ready to eat?
Nah, I mean, Reggie, we off here? X410, we off. Oh, no, I'm saying it's on outro, but they can't hear me, right?
Oh, we done in here?
Ready?
Yeah, but they can't hear me, right? Yeah. So, y'all better eat that chicken. All that money I done went and spent on the chicken and potato and what else? Rolls and stuff. And all them sodas. Y'all better eat. Pastor, you gonna eat now? Okay. Come on. I bet Kawan. Come on, Kawan.
Hi guys, listen, we're so glad that you joined the cave tonight. Listen, a mother's love was real, okay? Listen, I'm out here being a grandma's love out here in these grandma streets. But it's so awesome to see how God used the men tonight to really, really express their love for their mothers. Listen, we pray that you were blessed, and we want you guys to join Apostle every first Friday of the month for the cave. Men, come out. Women, come out. It's great to watch online, but it's even better when you come in the house. So every first Friday of the month, meet the men's ministry and Apostle Chaun for a night you will not forget. Thank you again for joining. Y'all have a blessed night.